When I was an atheist, I had no hope. As a Christian, the worst thing could happen to me, but I still had the hope of where I'd be forever. But even when you're in what people sometimes call the dark night of the soul, you still know God. If you know what God is like, you may not feel God. You may not be hearing anything at that moment, but He's still God. I was converted from atheism, and sometimes I wondered, wow, if I didn't have any faith. Actually, in some of the early years, I still had these leftover questions. But once I learned how to hear His voice, I'd ask Him the questions, and He would give me answers. And so that helped me a lot. But I always wondered what would happen if I couldn't work up any faith. And the time came when I went through the deepest crisis of my life to that point. Even though I didn't have any faith that I was working up, there was nothing in me sustaining me of my own. He was still there. I didn't feel Him, but He was there, and I knew He was real. And we know because we know who He is. I learned God's heart in a special way at that time, because sometimes when we're most broken is when we're growing the most, when we feel like it the least. Sometimes when we feel like we're hanging on to God by dear life from a thread that's about to break, is when God is really working something deep in our lives.